It's time now to round up a big topic from the week. And later this year, a new detention facility for illegal immigrants will open in Texas. It will include a special unit for transgender detainees, only the second of its kind in the federal system. Advocates say it's necessary for the detainees' safety. Opponents, though, say it goes too far to accommodate people who are here illegally. So that's our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you. You can weigh in on our Fox 26 Facebook page or Twitter. Use the hashtag Fox26 for life. Joining us live in the newsroom right now is our panel led by our senior legal analyst, Chris Tritico. We have attorney Nomi Hussein joining us and Republican strategist and public policy analyst Jackie Valley. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Well, a lot of advocates are calling for transgender detainees not to be held at all. They don't want them in any kind of facility. They say it's just not safe.
Well, look, if they're here illegally and they get arrested, we have to detain them. But once we get them and we have them in custody, it becomes a civil rights issue not to take care of them. And so for years, we have segregated people when we get them into the jail populations. And when HIV and AIDS became a problem, they began segregating people in the gay population to prevent them from being attacked, A, and B, to prevent the spread of AIDS in the jail. That's not a civil rights problem from the standpoint of segregation. It's a civil rights issue from the standpoint of protecting them. It's the same issue here. And so when you have someone in custody who has a gender identity issue such as this, we have a duty, a legal obligation to protect them, Jackie Valley, and that's really the only issue here.
Well, there's a lot more issues, like the $42 million that it would cost to build this type of facility. At least that's what ICE is projecting. And they're saying there are only 65 people on a given night. So we're spending $42 million for 65 people on a given night, according to ICE. So that's really the real issue here. We're spending taxpayer dollars for people coming into our country illegally in the first place. And it's just that some are saying that the standard or the facility that we currently have them in is not at the level that they would want them to be in. The advocates who are saying that we should just release them, I think they forget that they came into our country illegally.
Well, I don't think anybody's going to argue. There's only a few people going to argue just to let them go.
There are a couple of active groups that are actively saying that we need to let them go because they're transgender.
But Nomi Hussein, you look up here. We're on the air now. You got to look up. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in. Yeah, it's very early in the morning. We hadn't had his coffee yet. So we've got these individuals in custody. I disagree with the advocates who say, you know, they're transgender, so just let them go. I mean, if they're in custody, they're in custody. They've got to go through the process. But we have a legal duty under our law to protect them. And I don't care what the cost is.
Absolutely, we have a legal duty, but also under federal regulations, when you are processing an illegal immigrant into one of these facilities, you have to ask them, you know, what their gender identity is. And if they identify themselves as transgender, we have an ethical, a legal, a moral obligation to keep them safe. What if we don't do this and we put them in the general population? If they get assaulted, if they get raped, whatever happens to them, we then have legal liability. The federal government has legal liability. So, and the number Jackie said of $42 million, I read $1.3 to $1.5 million to build a facility. It's going to be 36 beds. It's going to be outside of Dallas. So I don't see this as a significant expense. And given the exposure we have with how much this is in the press right now and how much attention this is getting.
I think you're both right on the numbers. It's $42 million to build the facility and $1.3 million to
maintain
build.
and keep the resources to keep it going.
Okay.
Right, and so I think you're both right. But the issue, I think Nomi's right. The issue is when we have somebody that identifies as a separate gender, if you throw them into the general population and they get sexually assaulted because of that issue, that creates a huge problem for the government.
Well, that's a lot of ifs, because so far we have not had any reported incidents that we know of. At least ICE hasn't reported any. So they're saying that we need to build these type of facilities just in case. We forget that the reason why we have our guards there is to protect people regardless of what they identify as. If a woman is an illegal immigrant, that's a woman that comes in, we need to protect her. If an illegal immigrant comes in and they're transgender, we need to protect them. So no known incident has happened, and to build a $42 million facility to say this is going to be better protection if a certain scenario happens, I think that's going to be a big problem.
But we're already segregating women from men, so that issue is already taken care of. All right, we're going to leave it right there. Thank you both. And Nomi, thanks for being here, and thanks for waking up for that segment. Maybe we'll get you to wake up for the next one.
I thought he had great energy. Stop picking on Nomi. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in our next half hour.